This meeting is now being recorded.
All right, good morning, everybody. This is Ashley Ness here, and I have Monica Harrington, Ashley Fernie, Christy Scott, and Amanda Sutton joining me in our control room. Just kidding, it's not that fancy. So we have some really exciting updates, the General Supervision and Data Unit updates that we would like to share with you guys. So our agenda for today is we're going to talk about the provider portal, updates to the quarterly compliance review cycle, and reminders. So the provider portal, the portal is set to go live January 15th. So that is in 2018, and that is in 5 weeks. So super exciting. The portal will communicate directly with the unicorn. Providers will be able to continue to self-register, and providers are going to be attached to IFSPs with read-only access to the IFSP and the client case. They're going to have access to the client case, excluding case notes that have been entered and that are entered continuously. Providers will also have access to download any IFSPs. So it's going to be kind of a one-stop shop for providers to go to access information on clients that they are attached to. CCBs are going to be able to enter provider requests for services through the unicorn. So that includes ongoing services that are entered on the IFSP and also like a one-time IFSP meeting. Providers will not have the ability to bill through the system on January 15th, but we are still considering this as an option for a future release. The portal will provide more automation for status updates. So if a provider has an expired credential, the status will update to expired. Providers will be notified when things are about to expire, such as their credentials and other licenses. Information from the current provider database is going to be migrated into the unicorn, and that includes credentials, licenses, insurances, certifications, and cost ratings. So in order to migrate information, we needed a unique identifier to match, and the email address was determined the best option. This past Tuesday, CCBs were sent a list of provider email addresses that need to be updated in the unicorn. The list includes providers that did not match with data entered already in the unicorn. So the list that CCBs were sent had providers that had a status of active, pending, or blank in the provider database, and we are requesting that CCBs take an opportunity to enter that information into the unicorn. Early Intervention Colorado, we are taking on all of the providers that were marked as inactive or denied or another status as of 12/1. So no need to go into the provider database and update the status. What's the list that you have is what needs to go into the unicorn. Email addresses need to be updated in the unicorn by 12/22. Are there any questions?
All guests have been unmuted.
Okay, we'll go ahead and move on.
All guests have been muted.
If you do have a question, you can go ahead and just put it in the chat. So now we are going to go over the quarterly compliance report updates. So the big update, one of the bigger updates is the color category is gone. So CCBs will either meet or not meet each indicator based on timeliness and valid and reliable data. We're going to revise the support offered to CCBs that do not meet compliance targets. And we're going to be weighting each timeliness by 1 point, and also valid and reliable data will be weighted by 2 points. So an example of what you will be getting. So as you can see, there's no more red, orange, blue, or green. Anything that is highlighted yellow on this example report is what is going to be new. On the left side, this is if the activity occurred, so this is the timeliness. This section is going to be remaining the same. We have our goal of 100%, and the state compliance is 90% or greater. If a CCB meets the 90% or greater, they meet that indicator compliance, and they get 1 point for that. Anytime they don't meet the 90%, they do not get a point. And at the bottom, you'll see the total points for all of the timeliness. Over on the right side is valid and reliable data. So is this the data that has been entered into the system? If it has not been entered in the system, you will not, so if the state compliance for this is greater than 95%. So if you are entering all of your data on time, then you get the 100%, and then you get meet, and you get 2 points for that. Down at the very bottom of this one, we are scoring that one, so you can see the total points and how much you get out of for the right side. Before, in the old reporting, we were documenting how much missing data you had. So it had to be less than 10%. So now we're just inversing this. Up top, there is the little gold star up there, and this is saying what you have all together. So why did we do the changes? So we heard feedback from CCBs that they did not like being classified in that color system. The color system also did not accurately reflect how CCBs performed at year end. The point system, this aligns with how year end determination scores. So first quarter reports are going to be sent out later on today. You're going to be able to see kind of what to expect moving forward. The point system and revised system for support will begin second quarter. So that is after we send out all of the reports in mid-January. Reports that are going to be sent out today, they're going to show an example of what to expect in January. And starting fiscal year 18-19, valid and reliable points will be factored into year-end determination scores.
Hey everyone, this is Ashley Cerny. So also coming up next quarter, starting quarter 2, we're going to have CCBs submit an action plan if compliance was not met on one or more indicators. So this plan will help identify barriers to meeting those compliance targets, develop strategies, set benchmarks and timelines, and identify key players to help support reaching compliance. And the purpose of this is to provide more support throughout the year to help overcome those barriers before year-end determinations and findings are sent out. So a more proactive approach to support.
We'll unmute you guys.
All guests have been unmuted.
How do we earn a pizza party? You know, Jody, we're wondering that same thing. Are there any questions?
But I forgot that it was 11:30.
Everybody has been unmuted. So we kind of anticipate that users are going to need to see what the report looks like. And as you know, last year was a new reporting system, and we have revised it. So of course, we're always open to suggestions and how we can improve it and how we can better support you guys.
All guests have been muted.
So as you get the reports and as the year continues on, please don't hesitate to reach out to any of us and let us know how we can better support you guys and what's working and what's not working. So just a couple other unicorn updates. So we're going to switch things around here a little bit. So you're going to now be contacting Tracy Sperry for new user requests. So anytime you need a new user set up in the system, go ahead and email Tracy Sperry. She is also going to be assisting in unlocking IFSPs. So any IFSP that has been archived that you need unlocked or unarchived, please contact Tracy Sperry. In the past TA call meeting, I believe it was last month, we talked about updating the outcome status so it defaults to new. So we have to put this one out to support. This one wasn't as easy as a fix as I thought it was going to be. So we have to put it out for support, and we expect this to be defaulting to new, any new outcome in the spring of 2018. So I know it seems far away, but it's actually pretty close. Knocking at our door.
Okay, now on to some reminders. We're still looking for people to join 2 work groups that we're getting together. We have the Family Outcomes Survey work group, and we're looking for service coordinators, parents, providers, and managers or supervisors. We're going to be changing the survey tool itself and then also making changes to how it's administered. So it will have an effect on all of those groups, which is why we're hoping to bring them all to the table in its development. And then we also have the QIO work group, and this one is open to QIO assessors, so anyone that is currently using the QIO tool. And we'll be reviewing the checkbox items within the tool to ensure the scoring is clear and accurate. And we can't make any drastic changes to the tool for data collection purposes, but we want to make sure that we're rating as clear and fair as possible. So we'll be making updates to that. And if you're interested in joining either of these, please contact me by December 18th so that I can try to schedule a January intro phone call meeting.
A few other reminders. Our next TA call is I just have January 11th, 11:30 to 12:30, but that is the next TA call. I apologize. There is an updated bridge training instructions on the website. If you have questions, go ahead and contact Wayla Murrow about this. The statewide meeting is going to be May 9th and 10th. And that is at UNC Centera. And if you would like to be a part of the planning committee, please contact Monica Harrington. Hopefully this little guy brings us some snow. Thank you very much for participating, and we'll open it up one last time for any final questions.
All guests have been unmuted.
I have a question about the provider database and the migration. Are there going to be blocks for billing right away set in place, or is there going to be kind of a timeline that, you know, we can make sure everything was running smoothly before, you know, blocks are put in?
So what I believe you're talking about is if like a provider migrates in with an inactive status, they won't be able, CCBs won't be able to bill for that provider. We are going to talk about doing a little bit of a lag time so we can make sure providers get everything updated and in the system prior to us putting in those validation rules and triggers and preventing billing to go through.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Good question. All right. Well, oh, sorry. Do we continue to enter providers in the unicorn? For right now, yes. Are you talking about new providers, Jan?
Yes.
Yes, please continue to enter new providers in the Unicorn. Once the system goes live, providers will be self-registering and entering all of their information.
And that's also true for new providers. They should still be continued to be entered in the provider database as well.
I have a provider who is having trouble accessing the Unicorn. Do I contact Tracy Sperry to help with this? If it's a user that needs to be set up in the system with your CCB, then yes. However, if it's a provider trying to access the new portal, that's not live. That's not available until January 15th. You're welcome. All right, well, my favorite thing to give you guys is the gift of time. So I'm giving you guys back about 40 minutes, a little more than that. So I hope everybody enjoys the rest of the day. If they have any questions or concerns or thoughts on anything that we talked about today, please feel free to email any of us.
Why didn't they just send out a flyer?
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.